Hello there. I have been on Booktube for a bit of a while now, and I thought it's about time that I go through and look at my books that Booktube made me buy. I mean, let's face it, every single time you open a haul or a TBR or anything that involves books, which is every single video, your bank account starts to cry. It's just there in the corner like, why are you doing this to me? Why? So I have 8 books that Booktube made me buy. Now, I must say, a lot of these books have been bought because I've seen people raving about them. But these are just some of the ones that I'm going to smush together, and I know I'll end up doing a part 2 later on. Firstly, let's just get a biggie out of the way. Everything written by Cassandra Clare. I have all of the Mortal Instruments series, and I have Clockwork Prince. Clockwork Angel. Everyone has raved about them since they came out pretty much, so you can't really avoid them. If you don't know what these are about, congratulations, you should be given a medal or something. The next book I know a lot of people love, including myself. Let's just face it, when the first trilogy came out, everybody was raving about it, and now that she's bringing out a second trilogy, everyone is losing their minds. It is, of course, Shatter Me by Tahira Murphy. I think the first time I heard about this was when I first came onto Booktube, and I think the third book was just about to be released and everybody was just there like, ah! I really like this book, and I still haven't finished the trilogy. I've read the first and the second one. Need to read the third one so then I can read the fourth one. Yay! Another book series that everybody raved about was, of course, Cinder by Marissa Meyer. I have read all 4 books in the Lunar Chronicles series, and I really did enjoy them. I only own this one, but I do eventually want to get the others. I have not even tried to go near Heartless yet because that's so mixed. And then you also have Renegades, which I saw the other day in the shop, and I was like, no, don't. It took a lot of me not to pick it up because it's about superheroes. Speaking of superheroes, this next book is now my favourite trilogy, but it's the first one that started off by, I think I was watching a Ben Alderson video, and he just had it in one of his giant hauls, and it's of course Steelheart by Brandon Sanderson. I love it. I now have 2 copies of this book and the rest of the series in hardback. I just thought it was brilliant, and I want to reread it again this year at some point. I remember there wasn't that much buzz about this. There were a couple people who were like, oh, a new Brandon Sanderson book's coming out, and I really wanted to get into Brandon Sanderson because I knew he did good fantasy, so I picked one of his urban fantasy superhero books instead of like Mistborn. I totally forgot what it was called. The next book, I think that almost everybody has owned a copy of it or had it shoved in their face enough, and that is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. And this, I feel like every single person on Booktube in the year like 2014 just had this up there and was like, don't get me wrong, I am not slamming this book. I think I've reread it probably about 4 or 5 times, but the hype was unreal. Everyone and their mother was just there like, have you read Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell? Have you read Fangirl? Rainbow Rowell, have you ever like read any of her books? Thank you, Plain. The next book that Booktube made me buy was Throne of Glass by Sarah J Maas, and I only read this last summer. I read it last summer, but I don't know, I finished it and I was just like, you know what, I need the rest of the series and I need them now. And then like 2 months later, or let's face it, it's about 9 months later now, I can't really remember what happened, so I couldn't have loved it that much. And I've heard so many things from people saying that it just went downhill, but still, there's loads of people that love this book so much. And I did try A Court of Thorn and Roses. I did not enjoy it. I read the first one and I was like, not for me. And the last 2 books are newer books just to keep things current and up to date. So the next one is 3 Dark Crowns by Kendall Blake. Now I think this one is a mix of Reagan just going, oh my god, 3 Dark Crowns to everyone, and everyone else just being there like, yes, tell us more. He hyped it up so much, which I'm glad. I enjoyed it apart from one thing that really angers me. But another reason that I bought this is because I've already read Anti-Goddess by Kendall Blake also, and I love this book. I really want to get the rest of the series, so I had the highest expectations, and then I was just there like, I love it, but books that Booktube made me buy was The Last Namsar by Kristen Cicerelli. And I did enjoy this one. I got it at Christmas as a present, and everybody else did as well, apparently. I didn't regret this one. I didn't regret some of the others. I just think the hype was real, and sometimes we all get caught up in the hype, let's face it. We all have a bit too much of excitement, and we think a cover is super pretty, and we will open our wallets gladly. So I think we all suffer with that problem sometimes. So those were some of the books that Booktube has made me buy. If Booktube has made you buy any books, mention them down in the comments down below, and have a very good day. Goodbye.